Now then, we will begin. When the story is done, you shall know a great deal more than you do now. Once upon a time, there was a hobgoblin. He was a terribly bad hobgoblin. In fact, some say he was the devil himself. One day, the devil was in a very good humor because he had just finished a mirror which had this particular power. Everything good and beautiful that was reflected in it seemed to dwindle almost to nothing at all, while everything that was worthless and ugly became most conspicuous and uglier than ever. In this mirror, the loveliest landscapes looked like boiled spinach, and the very best people became hideous. If a good or kind thought passed through anyone's mind, it showed in the mirror as an evil grin, and the devil laughed aloud at his ingenious invention. All those who went to the hobgoblin's school, for he had a school of his own, said that a miracle had come to pass. Now, they asserted, for the very first time, you could see how the world and its people really looked. They scurried about with the mirror until there was not a person alive, nor a land on earth that had not been distorted. Then they wanted to fly up to heaven itself, to scoff at the angels and at God. Higher they flew, and higher still, nearer to heaven. Then the mirror trembled with such violence that it slipped from their hands and fell to the earth, where it shattered into hundreds of millions of pieces. And now it caused more trouble than it did before it was broken, because some of the fragments were smaller than a grain of sand, and these went flying through the world. Once they got in people's eyes, they would stay there. These shards of glass distorted everything the people saw and made them see only the bad side of things. For although the mirror had lost some of its power when it shattered, every little bit of glass kept some of the power that the whole mirror had possessed. A few people even got a glass splinter in their hearts, and that was a terrible thing, for it turned their hearts into lumps of ice. This was the worst fate of all, because a heart of ice cannot feel anything at all. The fiend was so amused that he laughed until his sides were sore. As shards fell into the cold regions of the earth, they intermingled with snowflakes and caught the attention of the Snow Queen, who is the Queen of Winter. She had heard of the mirror's power and had long desired it, so she was overjoyed when the frame and many pieces of the mirror landed in her realms. She set her frost elves to scour the world for the remaining fragments so that she could restore the mirror to its full power. For it was now her possession, and it would be hers to use as she wished.